Okay, boom, we're in there. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose. Maybe I should have done it this way. Let me mute that. We got some things to talk about here. Let me skip this. Okay. All right, now we're good to go. All right, put here. Okay. Am I missing anything? Let me see. All right, here. Let me copy this. Put this here. Did it not? It didn't show up. Hold on a second. All right. Anyway, I'm good now. Let me close the door. All right, welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Decided to go live this morning. I got a little bit of time. Then I got to get ready to take my son to his basketball game. But let's do a little bit of a roll-up here, okay? Now, a lot going on in boxing, of course. But let's just backtrack a little bit and start with David Benavidez and Morrell, okay? David Benavidez and Morrell showed us that Benavidez and Morrell, that there's definitely something special about those fighters. But David Benavidez, he deserves a fight with Canelo. Now, the funny thing is, when you take a look at David Benavidez, I personally think, and I know there's a lot of Canelo fans out there who are going to sit there and get annoyed when I say this, but I think Canelo is doing any and everything he can to avoid a fight with Benavidez, okay? You take a look at the rack and stack as of 4th February, right? You can see right here as of 4th February. Look at where they have David Benavidez positioned. At 175, you got Beterbiev and Bivol, the two big dogs of the division, who I personally think both would beat Benavidez. But you got Benavidez ranked at number 2. So that speaks volumes about Benavidez, what he's been able to accomplish, and what he's been able to show at 175 in his 2 fights. Although I thought against Bivol, he could have looked he could have looked better. But the bottom line is he was pushing the big man back the first 7-8 rounds. But then it seems like he got tired or something, and Gvozdyk, had other plans, and he actually, I think if there were 2 more rounds left in that fight, I think he would have stopped Benavidez. But the bottom line is, Benavidez had his way, he dominated, and he won the fight. But then to come now and do to Morrell what he did, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing, absolutely impressive. And did he blow Morrell out every round? No. But did he dominate? Yes. He was able to, with his offense, he was able to nullify everything with Morrell. Morrell just couldn't really get going the way he wanted. He did have some spurts where he let his hands go, but I think Benavidez proved that he's much better than Morrell, and Morrell proved that he's going to be a formidable force at 175. And matter of fact, when I think about it, I don't think there's going to be too many people who can beat Morrell at 175. And when it comes to Benavidez, I don't think so either. I would like to see Yardy get involved in the fight because Yardy can scrap. And I would also like to see how Buatsi can perform against these guys. But the bottom line is, if you ask me who I'm putting my money on, Yardy can scrap, but I put my money on Benavidez over any of these guys. I'm just not sure Benavidez can get through Bivol and get through Beterbiev. Now, Bivol and Beterbiev, they have a huge scrap coming up as well. And I'm going to tell you, I think Beterbiev is going to knock out Bivol. I think he's going to knock out Bivol. And the reason why I think that is because Bivol is looking to come and hold his ground and to not allow the bully, who hits much harder than him, but to allow him to have his way. He feels a mistake he made in the first fight is he didn't do enough in every round. He allowed the impression to the judges that he was being outworked, he was being bullied, and that he looked a bit timid. And I think he was when he felt that power. Even Bivol admitted that Beterbiev is the hardest puncher at 175. But he also said in the same breath, I'm going to fight fire with fire. and I'm going to make sure that I take it out the judge's hands. Now, for him to take the fight out the judge's hands, now I don't know what you guys think. What that tells me is he's looking to put the beans on Bivol, on Bertabiev. And he even talked about a saying in Russia about what you do with a fighter is you box them, and what you do with a boxer is you fight them. And he's saying with Bertabiev, who's a fighter, that he's going to not only box him, but he's also going to fight him. And I think that's actually a good idea for Bertabiev to use a combined approach when facing off against, let me check something real quick. When facing off against, details here. Yeah, okay, it's public. Yeah, when facing off against Bertabiev, he's gonna have to use a combined approach. Simple. But if not, things aren't gonna work out. Okay? So Benavidez, I think he can go very far. I don't know if he beats Bivol. I don't know if he beats Bertabiev. But we'll see what happens because he's gonna be in Saudi Arabia and he's gonna be hanging out and watching the fight. Now, all the drama here that's going on, Canelo and Terence Crawford. Let me tell y'all this. When it comes to Terence Crawford, I like Terence Crawford. I like Canelo. I'm not a fan. They're not my favorite fighters. I don't have favorite fighters, right? But what I'll tell you is I think Crawford may be okay with taking a loss, people. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I have a feeling he may be okay with taking a loss. What's up, Jose? He says, I think Bertabiev will destroy Bivol. I agree with you 100%. I think Bertabiev will destroy him as well. I don't think Bivol is going to be able to redeem himself. If anything, he's going to get knocked out cold. I just don't think so. The same way Bivol is trying to make refinements to come back better and stronger and be more intelligent so he can get a victory, Bertabiev is doing the same thing, saying, okay, if the majority of people thought I lost this fight, even though I feel I won, and I did get the fight in the judge's eyes, I need to make sure the next fight they don't rob me, so I'm not going to let it go to the judge's scorecard. So I think somebody gets knocked out. And if you say, hey, who would you put your money on? I'm putting my money on Bertabiev. But Terence Crawford and Canelo, I think Terence Crawford's okay with taking a loss. Look, Terence Crawford's looking to make like $100 million. You know, I think it's like $80 to $100 million to fight Canelo in September. And Crawford, according to him, he's going to wait until September to fight Canelo. And let me tell you something. The fact that Crawford doesn't want to get active, that's concerning to me. You're going to go and fight the biggest fight of your career, right? This is the fight that Crawford wants. That can put the feather in his cap. And I was saying that, hey, man, Crawford's going to get in there. He's going to fight back. He's going to try to win. He's not going to be Jermell Charlo. And I still believe that to a certain extent. But when I hear him come out and openly say to the public, I'll be here waiting for Canelo in September. That is, you can't do that. You can't sit there and choose to go into an inactive state for the next 8-9 months and think you're going to roll in the ring with Canelo and put the Omaha, Nebraska bing-bings on him. Like, that's just not how this works. And I know Terence Crawford's special. I know about his genetics. I know what his parents handed down to him. I know about his lifestyle. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's a gym rat. He takes boxing serious. But I don't care how serious you take boxing. I am telling you, and the experts will tell you, because I'm just a content creator, right? Did I used to box? Of course. But I wouldn't consider myself no Teddy Atlas. But Teddy Atlas will tell you, and even Crawford will tell you, you have to be active to be effective in boxing. They do have some elite fighters, some special fighters that they can get away with certain things because of their power, their IQ, their athleticism, okay? Floyd Mayweather was one. Keith Thurman is one. But even when you saw Floyd Mayweather come back after being out a year and he fought Juan Manuel Marquez, he was very smart in the opponent he selected, okay? He didn't go up there against a killer. Keith Thurman, when he came back after being out, what's up, the final boss? How you doing, champ? What you saw with Keith Thurman returned after, being out. He didn't just go up there and take on Terence Crawford or Earl Spence. No. He came in there and was very smart with what he was doing. Got in the ring with Barrios. And you saw that shit still didn't quite go right. So all I'm saying is the inactivity is going to help Canelo, not Crawford. And I do kind of feel Crawford's going to make, if it's a man making $80 to $100 million, I mean, I kind of feel like he's like, you know what? Win, lose, or draw, I'm out of here. So for everyone thinking Crawford's going to get in there and dominate Canelo and knock Canelo out, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. You know why? What's up, Don Shotter? Because the best fighter doesn't win the match. It's the boxer who fights the best on that night. And Crawford just may be that special of a fighter that he can get in there with Canelo and put the Omaha, Nebraska bing-bings on him. Now, that being said, what's Canelo's plan? Well, Canelo's looking to fight in May. Now, what's crazy about this is these are the facts right here. Canelo signed to fight Jake Paul in May. He did. That shit is not a rumor. Jake Paul came out and blasted him. And you know, Jake Paul, he'll say a lot. What's going on, Trey Titan? You know, Jake Paul will say a lot. He'll exaggerate shit. He'll take the truth and twist it just to troll you. But Jake Paul was agitated. You know what I'm saying? He was agitated. That's why he showed the contract. He insulted Canelo. Let me see. I actually did let me see if I have that one up. And basically, he's like, yo, Canelo's a cornball. He signed a contract to fight me in May. And then Turki Alalshikh did put some pressure on Canelo. And it was basically like, Canelo, like, what are you doing here? You know, you need to fight Jake Paul 30 years from now. You shouldn't fight Jake Paul right now. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to fight him. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of agree with Turki Alalshikh and what he's saying, but at the same time, I actually kind of feel a little bit like Turki Alalshikh was concerned that Canelo and Jake Paul would have done such great numbers that it would have made Turki Alalshikh look bad when he was trying to put on the fight with Canelo and Crawford, because it wouldn't have been bigger than Jake Paul and Canelo. So this right here is the contract for those of you who are thinking, okay, Jake Paul's full of crap. Let me show you this. This is the contract here. And that top signature, that's Canelo's signature. That bottom signature right here, this is for TGB Promotions. And that's Jake Paul's signature over there to the top far right. So Jake Paul signed, Canelo signed for the fight to take place. Then we're going to announce the fight 11 February. But for those of you who are wondering, okay, well, Turki Alalshikh obviously is the lion in the jungle. Turki Alalshikh is the guy with the dough. You know what I'm saying? So if Turki Alalshikh decides he wants to put the money up and he wants to stop any fight from happening, you know, Turki Alalshikh can do that. And, you know, that's exactly what he did. But for those of you who are wondering, why would Canelo take a fight in May, knowing that Turki Alalshikh was here basically trying to hook him up with a 4-fight deal? It's because Turki Alalshikh had 3 fights for him. Okay, he didn't have 4 fights for him. He had 3. And the first one was going to be Crawford in September. They were trying to figure things out for May. But nonetheless, Canelo went that route. But this, you know what this tells me, right? I would say this, Canelo can do what he wants. No matter if you like him or not, Canelo, let's not forget all the work Canelo put in. It don't matter about catch weights or whatever. Canelo put the work in, and he's dominated. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Lord Zed? Good morning to you. You got to give Canelo the credit he deserves, man. He put the work in, and he can do what he wants. But at the same time, right? Look, I'm 49 years old. I've been retired 6 years. I've never returned to work. So for you saying, damn, how does man retire at 43 and not return to work? I could have retired at 39. But I started planning from age 19. So life is fucking good. But when I look at Canelo, I'm like, my man right now, his effort was great in the ring. So his reward should be great. And his reward is having the latitude to pick and choose who he wants and do what he wants. But going after Jake Paul, that's, what's up, Jose? That's just business. I'm not going to call Canelo greedy. But that's an easy money grab. It keeps him active, and then he goes into the fight with Terrence Crawford, and he doesn't have any ring rust. But this is the problem that him fighting Jake Paul would have caused. He would have had to fight Jake Paul at cruiserweight. So I know he wasn't 100% comfortable with that, but he was going to take the fight anyway because of the money. Word is Canelo's going to make like 150, 175 million to fight Jake Paul. It was going to be on Netflix and everything. But Turki Alalshikh came and talked to him, say, look, this is the deal I'm going to give you. Canelo's making like $400 million for 4 fights. Okay? That's locked in with Turki Alalshikh. The fight with Jake Paul would have paid him more for 1 fight. but just you look over 4 fights and the type of fighters Canelo's going to have to fight, there's not much risk involved. Okay? Chavez says, real talk, I'm Mexican, but Canelo versus Crawford will flop on pay-per-view. I'm not buying it. I don't know, man. I think there's even more attention on Canelo and Crawford right now. I think there's even more attention, and people are going to continue to talk about Canelo and Crawford, especially, see, Crawford's being smart. He's like, I'm not going to come out here and mess up this money I'm about to make. I'm just going to sit back here in the breeze and wait till it's my time. Canelo wants to fight, and he's got to fight. You know, Cinco de Mayo. He wants to fight. He almost has to fight. But Canelo, his opponent selection, now this is where it gets crazy. If he would have fought Jake Paul at 200, I think Canelo would have lost against Terence Crawford. Because if he would have fought at cruiserweight in May, even if he beat Jake Paul, to come back in September and fight at 168, there's no way in the world Canelo would have been able to shed that weight. And I'm not saying he would have gone all the way to 200, but he would have had to put some size on to fight Jake Paul. There's no way he could have cut that weight back down to 168 in what, May, June, July, August, September, in 4 months, and go fight Crawford? Are you kidding me? Man, Crawford would have knocked Canelo's ass out. Now, if you're a Canelo fan, sit your emotions aside for a second, and let's be practical. Canelo bubbles up to 195 to fight Jake Paul, and in 4 months, this man's going to shed like 30 pounds? 30 pounds of muscle? I mean, he's not going to put on weight like a Coley. A Coley put on weight to become a heavyweight. A Coley looked like a goddamn mashed potato. Canelo's not going to put on that kind of weight. And to think you're going to be like Roy Jones and strip muscle and go fight arguably the pound for pound best boxer? Nah, hell no. And Crawford's coming up, and he's taking time to put on that weight over the next few months. No way. Crawford would have stopped him. But, hey, it's not happening that way. So Crawford has to be very careful, man. Ivar the Spineless, what's up, champ? One fine porcupine. Turkey said on Reddit he wants to make the Tank versus Shakir, but Davis doesn't want it. Yeah, Davis doesn't want it. I don't know what the problem is with Gervonta Davis. But I agree that Gervonta should get his money. I do. I think it's because I'm a guy. I do a lot of investing. I don't want to take on too much. If I don't have to take on a lot of risk and get a very high return, great. But most of the time, the greater the risk, the greater the return. But when you look at Gervonta Davis, this man, they figured it out. Little to no risk and the greatest return possible you can get in a fight. And I don't hate him for that. But I would like to see him fight Shakur Stevenson, fight T.O., fight Haney, fight all these guys. Gervonta Davis should. But he's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Jordan says, people went crazy once they found out Nello and Bud fight was off. It showed me I had a stronger following than I realized. Oh, yeah, the whole world was on that, man. They still are. And they're going to be on that going right up until the fight. Gregory Pratt says, yo, what's up, Greg? Lord Zed, if Turkey really loves boxing, how hard is it to pay a guy to knock Jake out? Turkey and Jake probably friends and secret business partners. Let's put some things in perspective here, Lord Zed. I'm always talking about the secret society. I did a video where I was saying, I wonder with Turkey Alalshikh, right? Because there's more to this shit than we see. You look at Donald Trump. You look at Dana White. You look at the UFC. You look at one of those one of the guys with Riyadh season. One of their agents, right? He was there next to Donald Trump and next to Dana White at a UFC event. All three of them were sitting there shoulder to shoulder. Now, coincidence or not, that the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund has got so many people's attention as a result of Turkey Alalshikh getting involved with boxing. People wondering where the hell this money coming from. So now, a lot of people are learning about the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund and what that fund is used for. It's not used for Saudi and Saudi business. It's solely used, man, to help advance Saudi, to make Saudi look to be received as a destination for people globally. So all of a sudden, Donald Trump wants to come out here and establish a sovereign wealth fund for the United States. Now, all I'm saying is this. When he said sovereign wealth fund, Donald Trump did, I was like, yo, what the hell? That shit, my spidey senses went off. I'm like, yo, the secret society's in full effect. Donald Trump talking about sovereign wealth funds. But when he said, we're going to take time to grow ours, but Saudi Arabia has a very large sovereign wealth fund, and how they use. He complimented him, and I said something is up there. Now I can't dive as deep into it as I want, but don't be surprised if we start stitching this shit together. That Turki Alalshikh, the whole Riyadh season, and the Riyadh season push, the United States, Trump, Dana White, and when it comes to sports and when it comes to business and politics, that somehow those things don't start complementing each other, and in some areas it's going to be more of a supplementary relationship. But the bottom line is, I do believe that there's a lot more going on when it comes to Riyadh season, fights in the States, fights on an international scale, because you got to think about this. Why in the world would so many of these different countries just be okay with Turki Alalshikh, who just bubbled up out of nowhere, just making a strong push to invade their space when it comes to sports? You know, is it sports washing? I think it falls underneath that umbrella. But nonetheless, I think there's so much more going on, and we may never know all about the secret business partners, but I do believe there's something going on. Chavez says Crawford will be slow and run, it will be a boring fight. I don't know, Jose. I don't think it's going to be boring. Unless Crawford just decides to become a boxer runner and turn into Shakur Stevenson or turn into the Jamel Charlo that faced Canelo, I don't think it's going to be a boring fight. I think Crawford's going to try. I think he has too much pride. But I also got to wonder why he won't at least try to go out there and take a stay busy fight. But when you look at what's out there, like Murtazaliev, right? Let me tell y'all something. The real boogeyman at 154 is Murtazaliev. It ain't Crawford. It ain't Majumov. The real boogeyman at 154 is Murtazaliev. And I would hate to see if they try to line up Terence Crawford to face Murtazaliev as a stay busy fight before he fought Canelo. I just think Murtazaliev would spoil all the plans. No one calls out Murtazaliev. Matter of fact, Murtazaliev reminds me of Terence Crawford. When Terence Crawford had that IBF strap, it was an IBF strap, right? Yeah. And he was there at 147. Nobody wanted to call out Terence Crawford. Nobody wanted to fight Terence Crawford. Murtazaliev, I believe, has an IBF strap. Murtazaliev is at 154. No one mentions his name. At 154, they talk about everybody. They talk about everybody at 154. But the one fighter they don't talk about at 154, they don't talk about Murtazaliev at all. And there's a reason why they don't talk about Murtazaliev. Because Murtazaliev ain't nothing but, 2025 version of Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? There he is right there. 23-0. You know what I'm saying? Man out here just tranquilizing everybody. Murtazaliev. Where is it? Right here. IBF champion. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody wants nothing to do with that guy. And I'll be honest with you, I can't blame him, man, because he's a killer. What's up, Cone Sabor? What's up, Big Dog? Where we at right here? I've heard the opposite. Someone on Tank Team said they sent a contract to Shakur, nothing. You know what, Don Shada, man, I don't even know what to believe. But what I'll say is, if they sent a contract, I think they would have did like Jake Paul and at least, show the receipts. That's one thing they can do, man, to get us all on the same page. But right now, I don't know what the hell the plan is with Gervonta, but I know Turki Alalshikh is trying to get him. Turki Alalshikh's trying to get what's his name to come over, and y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. They're trying to get Gervonta to come over. They're trying to get him to fight Shakur Stevenson. He just doesn't want to do it. Just like Canelo does not want to fight David Benavidez. I don't know why Gervonta won't fight Shakur. I think he knocks him out. But I can understand Canelo not wanting to fight David Benavidez. I don't agree, but I can understand because Benavidez is a problem. But that shit about Gervonta Davis and Shakur not fighting, that makes no sense to me. Shakur is an outstanding fighter. Man will chicken peck you to death. You know what I'm saying? But I just think at some point in time, Gervonta hits him with the Baltimore Bing Bings, and he tranquilizes Shakur Stevenson. I don't think Shakur Stevenson can box and move and avoid that damn Davis power for 12 rounds. I just don't think so. But, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Spidey senses went off. Hell yeah, Consul Boy, glad to see you in here. James Hannon, a stay busy fight for Crawford is too risky, especially if it's at 168. Yeah, that's the next thing that people were talking about, James. James says Murtazaliev is a monster. I would love to see him fight the winner of Majumov Ortiz. Murtazaliev and Majumov, or Murtazaliev and Bohachuk, or even Ortiz, any of those four mixing it up, that's the fight to make. Ortiz and Bohachuk already fought. Bohachuk beat his ass. They robbed him, but that's a whole other story. But Murtazaliev, Majumov, and Bohachuk, I'm going to tell you, somebody dies in that fight. Someone will die. Like, if they put that on, you got to put the kids to bed, and you can't allow them to see that because someone's going to get killed. But I do agree. Crawford, I think he needs to stay busy fight, but when you look at what he's got to deal with up there at 154, it's some problems, you know what I mean? Problems at 154. And I hear people saying Crawford will outbox this guy, Crawford will outbox Murtazaliev, he'll come in there and he'll make it easy against Fundora. Crawford. Look, easy. I agree. Terrence Crawford is the man. I'm telling you I agree. But let's not take it to the stupid and just think Crawford's going to get in there with anyone and tranquilize him. Shit just doesn't work like that. Those guys at 154. Did Crawford look bad against Majumov? No, I thought he actually impressed me the way he was able to move from the first second of the first round to the last second of the 12th round. Up and down, left and right, in and out, orthodox, southpaw, combination punching, jabbing, single shots, stepping to the side, throwing the 2-3. Crawford blew my mind. I said, God damn, coming off of being a bit inactive, how was he able to press the gas like that? But I don't care what you say. Another year in age, another year of inactivity, and to think he would roll up in there with a Murtazaliev or someone, even a Fundora, and tranquilize him, he could win the fight, but I just don't think it'll be easy. And if he did take on someone like that, I think he'll get damaged. It will push the Canelo fight back. Now, for those of you who are thinking that it's okay for Canelo and Crawford and that fight to get pushed back past September, have we not learned when it comes to Turki Alalshikh? Because when Turkey's in the house, every day is Thanksgiving. When Turki Alalshikh sets a date for something, he's not cool with that shit getting pushed back. Look at Tyson Fury and Usyk. Tyson Fury with it was the phantom punch that hit Tyson Fury and cut that eye and all that bullshit, right? Then that fight got pushed back. Turki Alalshikh, the only thing Turki Alalshikh did not do to Tyson Fury, he didn't chop off his hand and feet. He was like, if he doesn't make the date that we rescheduled this fight for, he's got to give me, what was it, like $5 million, $10 million of his own money? And he wasn't joking. And Tyson Fury was there looking just like a little kid. Just there curled up, hands just there, looking all crazy and shit, all introverted. I was like, damn, Turki Alalshikh about to put his ass under that guillotine, wasn't he? But that being said, he ain't trying to hear any fights being pushed back. So let's just forget about that, man. Cone Sabor says, you're in Texas, warm and chill. I'm in Northeast, getting ready for a mean snowstorm. Bundle up, drink some of that chicken soup, boy. Like Tito Trinidad, drink some of that chicken soup and warm up. One fine porcupine. Canelo wants Bivol rematch and then Benavidez. He wants the Bivol rematch, but they're trying to work on Benavidez. He don't want nothing to do with Benavidez. Cone Sabor, Shakir bring no money or fan base. Let's see how Shakir fight in his next fight. I think Shakir knows that. I think his team, his supporters know that. And that could be why Shakir Stevenson's had Mike Tyson in his camp, Terrence Crawford in his camp. He's had athletes in his camp. He's had so many people in his camp. Maybe they're trying to grow his profile, or maybe Shakir Stevenson, right? Like, I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure how Devin Haney's going to look when he returns to the ring, because I'm not sure where he's at, as far as his psychology. But maybe Shakir Stevenson, that Edwin De Los Santos fight has messed up Shakir Stevenson to where he needs people telling him how great he is. He needs that reassurance. He needs that support. He doesn't have that in him where he's like, you know what? F the world. I don't need nobody. I stand on my own 2 feet. This is where I belong, and can go out there and push and train and go out there and be great. I think Shakir may be a little bit weak mentally because that shit with De Los Santos and the fans and how they drilled him, it got to him. But hey, I could be wrong. But take it easy, Bob Marley. I didn't shoot the sheriff. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Jordan, man, thank you so much for the $1.99. I appreciate it, man. He says Chisora versus Wallen fighters today. Who you got? Man, I got Wallen outboxing Chisora. Let me tell you something. Wallen learned from that fight with AJ. He's not going to sit there and allow Chisora with those wild sledgehammer-like shots to land. He's going to bing him, and I still put a lot of credit with Joey Gamache as his trainer to make Chisora look like what Chisora is, a guy who should retire and has fought probably 5 too many fights. Jose Chavez, Crawford at 168 will be slow and have no power. Nah, man, Crawford. I don't think Crawford will bubble all the way up to 168. Okay, I don't. I think he'll put some weight on, but I don't think so. But the other thing people was suggesting that he fights Janabek Alam Kanuli at 160, or Crawford fights somebody at 160. Look, that's why Crawford's not fighting at 160. That's why Crawford's not fighting nobody at 154. That's why he's not fighting nobody at 168. Terrence Crawford knows. Now this is my opinion, right? I think Terrence Crawford experienced something there with Majumov that he didn't like. I think he said, okay, I can beat these guys, but this shit ain't easy. And this is boxing, anything can happen. And I think if he didn't have that Canelo fight lined up, I think Crawford would go out there and defend his title. You know, I'm just being real with you. I think Crawford would. I think when you take a look at, where are we at here? When you take a look at Terrence Crawford, and you see where he is here as a WBA champion, and you just look at these names, the first 5. Maybe he would fight this guy, Abbas Baru. Maybe he would fight Tejas, who's the mandatory. Lubin, I don't know, but I think he would beat Lubin. Lubin has like a 77-inch reach, though. But his reach is longer than Crawford's. He already fought Majumov in a tough fight. Then he got this guy, Mielnicki Jr. But what I'm getting at is, if Crawford didn't have the Canelo fight lined up, I think he would fight one of these guys. But at the same time, I think he experienced something that told him it's best for me to just wait and fight Canelo because ain't no guarantee I'm beating these guys. You know what I'm saying? At all. Where are we at here? I think, James says, I think Murtazaliev runs through 154, and because of his low status, he won't get the fights, in my opinion. If he doesn't get the fight soon, he should go up to 160 and fight Janabek. What a fight that'll be. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's exactly what's happening to Murtazaliev. See, this is what people don't understand. People think Murtazaliev just crawled from underneath the rock. Murtazaliev was out there years ago, sparring out there in Robert Garcia's gym and sparring out there in California. You know who Murtazaliev was cutting his teeth on when he came to the States and was sparring? All those Eastern European killers. And the one in particular used to beat his ass was Mean Machine. Mean Machine used to beat his ass. And there's other hard hitters that he sparred with. And then you look at him now, all that hard sparring's paid off. You see him now, he's getting in the ring and he's tranquilizing people. So Murtazaliev, there's a reason why he looks the way he looks. Because when he was over here sparring, that shit wasn't sparring. He was going through wars. And he was learning on the job, the pro style, and he was fighting killers. So if you can go from like 6 years ago sparring a prime Mean Machine and survive that shit, I'm not surprised that Murtazaliev is out here doing what he's doing right now. And I do think Murtazaliev at 160 will still be effective. He's a big boy, like 6 feet tall. Hamza Shiraz, but I think Hamza Shiraz is the chosen one. I think Turki Alalshikh and Frank Warren, they want Hamza Shiraz to take over 160. I wouldn't be surprised if they get Hamza Shiraz and Canelo to fight next year in February instead of Chris Eubank Jr. and Canelo fighting. But Hamza Shiraz, to me, seems to be the golden child, the one they've identified to build him to be great and make a whole bunch of money. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that Hamza Shiraz can fight. But I think Murtazaliev and Hamza Shiraz could be another fight to get made. But I agree with what you're saying. Crawford at 168 will be slow. Yeah, I don't know, man. Who do you want to see Canelo fight in May? You know, you got Jamal Charlo. I say make Jamal Charlo in May because this is the thing. I don't want Canelo to lose because I want to see him fight Crawford. Throw Jamal Charlo in there. I mean, it's an easy build-up. He fought his brother already, who just happens to be his twin. Throw Jamal Charlo in there. Canelo, when it comes to the 168-pound division, right? Canelo fought, goddamn, he fought almost everybody. I mean, let's be real. What's left for Canelo to do at 168? You know what I'm saying? Let's just take a look. Let me fix this for y'all, right? What's left for this guy to do? just being real to Canelo. What's left for Canelo to do? Canelo could fight M. Billy. Doesn't really make sense to go into a super tough fight in May just to possibly get cut or something and then mess up the Crawford fight. Pacheco, he's right there, but he ain't quite ready. Iglesias, who knows him? He already beat Plant. I think Skull will be an interesting fight. Skull does not deserve to be no IBF champion, but secret society's in full effect. Shishkin, I think he'll beat Shishkin. Sriracha is right there. That is one of the opponents they're thinking about. He already beat Munguia. He beat Berlanga, and Bazignan is there in the breeze. But when you come down and you take a look at Canelo Alvarez, right? This man's a unified champion. WBO, WBC, WBA. Really should be the IBF, but it is what it is. But look at what he's got. He's got Diego Pacheco under the WBO in the number 1 position. The number 2 is Christian Mbili. The WBC, you got Christian Mbili. Munguia, he beat them Pacheco at number 3. And the WBA, you got Christian Mbili at number 1. You got this guy Martinez. You got the Beck Bully. You got Berlanga. You got Fulgham, and then you got Pacheco. So when you take a look at Canelo and what Canelo's really looking at, if he doesn't fight Jamal Charlo, he got some problems. It's Diego Pacheco or Mbili. And Pacheco can fight. And Mbili can fight. You know what I'm saying? Especially that goddamn Pacheco. I don't care what no one says. Y'all know on my channel, I'm not biased to nobody. I make fun of Canelo. I make fun of Crawford. Crawford fans be like, oh yeah, you not supporting the brothers. Then when I say something good about Crawford, the Canelo fans like, oh, you just support the black fighters. I'm like, my man, I like fucking with y'all. But don't get it twisted. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play devil's advocate at times. I don't have a favorite fighter. I don't care who wins. But what I will say when it comes to Canelo, he got it tough, boy. If he wants to go out here and prove that he's the true face of boxing, the pound for pound great, well, then go fight one of them killers. But I think that'll be counterproductive. I think he could lose. But nonetheless, Jamal Charlo, Canelo fought his twin brother. Yeah, his twin brother is the smaller twin, the guy who didn't get as much milk from the mama's titty and all that shit. But Jamal Charlo, I thought Jamal Charlo had a chance. But he just felt that Canelo power, which everyone says Canelo hits hard. They say he hits hard. So Jamal Charlo experienced that. Even he, at the end of the fight, said, yo, that dude hits like a bull. So for Jamal, who's much bigger, coming off of being inactive, coming off of drugs, personal issues, mental health struggles, I mean, this is the perfect opponent for Canelo to get in the ring, should tranquilize him, and then Canelo just goes on and fights Crawford. But the one thing about Jamal Charlo, so I think that's who he should fight. But I'm going to tell you, don't sleep on Jamal Charlo's jab. People just out here looking at Jamal Charlo and his brother and all the problems they had. Do not sleep on his jab. Jamal Charlo can win any fight with his jab alone. The problem is I don't know where he's at mentally. Because who knows? If Canelo hits him and hurts him, Jamal Charlo may bite him. You know what I'm saying? He may jump out the ring and run through the crowd and start biting people and shit. Like, you don't know where he's at mentally. But I think that's a fight he should make. Easy build-up, easy sell, a little bit of a storyline there with fighting the twin. And it could be the kind of fight to get Jamal Charlo motivated to come out here, man, and get busy. Okay? Hardiman's like, yo, telling James fact. Consabor, just a minority of the boxing party fans like Shakir's style. People want action, knockdowns, entertainment. Shakir don't bring it yet. Shakir is struggling with what the fans want to see from him and then what he knows is a smart thing to do. Just get the win. But Shakir's got to look at Devin Haney if he wants to figure out how he should approach boxing. Now, for you saying, oh, why would he follow Devin Haney? Because Devin Haney went through that shit. The fans were saying he couldn't punch. He's pillow-fisted. The man he's weak. He's a scrub, and he fought Linares and tried to hold his ground to prove that he had punching power and almost got his ass knocked out. Did he outbox Linares? Yeah, no doubt. But did he almost get his ass tranquilized? Yeah, he got the Venezuelan bing bing put on his ass, didn't he? Like an 8-punch combination. Anyway, comes back, bubbles up to 140, happens to clip Regis, hurt him. Then all of a sudden, Devin is my power, my power, my power. All this bullshit. Instead of just sticking to my boxing skills, it was my power, my power. Okay, cool. Fucked around and got in there with Ryan Garcia, who I thought would beat him because taller, longer, faster, hits harder. What's there to think about, people? This doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that that's a horrible matchup stylistically for Devin Haney. Ryan went in there, tranquilized his ass. Yeah, there was a shit with Osterine, but outside of that, right? Devin was still getting beaten to the punch. But, you know, the Osterine shit, you got to understand, but I ain't here to talk about that. Bottom line is a fight that I didn't think Devin Haney was going to win. But with Shakur Stevenson, he should look at that. Because Devin was standing up, trying to hold his ground to prove he had power to do something that really wasn't within his repertoire. And he got tranquilized. So if Shakur come out here and get caught up with the fans and trying to prove he's got power and all this other shit, he going to get tranquilized too. He needs to stick to what he does good. Execute the game plan with precise, with surgical precision, and be highly effective. Be extremely accurate, and go on. And it's okay if you win the fight on decision. People will respect you for being who you are. It's just like when I was in the military and I was in all those meetings and all those briefings. You know, you get people who come in there being fake, and you can see through that bullshit. But like me, I was always consistent. They used to always say, "Yo, that dude got a chip on his shoulder. He's on the edge. What will he do next?" They used to be intimidated. Why don't you smile? I like, say something funny, motherfucker, and I'll smile. But other than that, don't fuck with me. Like I'm not a cornball. I'm not a clown. You're not gonna put a big red nose on my surface and have me on my nose and have me join the fucking circus. So when I was in the military, I was a kind of way. But people learned to respect me and accept me for what I was because I was consistent. I never tried to change. No matter what setting I was in, I was always me. I was always respectful. And I did have a great sense of humor, but I'm just not a guy to come in a meeting and be trying to he, ha, ha, ha. Man, fuck that. And I think with boxing, if you're a boxer puncher, be the boxer puncher. If you're a serious guy who comes in and you're strictly business like how Mike Tyson was, be the serious guy with the chip on the shoulder. If you're a person who's outgoing and you're smiling and you're nice and you love people like Manny Pacquiao, be that personality. But when you start, now you smiling, then you chip on the shoulder, Mike Tyson, then you want to come over here and be this guy and try to knock people out, people are going to be like, what's going on with this person? It's like MC Hammer was an entertainer. Then he became a gangster. Don't be MC Hammer. Be yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you got Canelo in this fight? His fight with Jamal, yeah. His fight with Crawford, I think Canelo should be the favorite. He should be the favorite. You can't be. No matter how much I like Canelo, I like Crawford, or I want to see Crawford win because he's got all those kids that in the program that they have up there in Nebraska, and just the positive impact that could have on those kids. I got to be real. I think Crawford has an uphill battle, but Crawford and his team know that too. But if there's anyone who can do it, I think Crawford will be the one, because of his technical abilities and his dynamic athleticism. But I just wonder if Canelo starts stepping to him with that high guard and putting that pressure on him and cutting that ring off. It's either Canelo's going to run into something or Crawford's going to stumble and trip up and Canelo's going to catch him and hurt him. But either way it goes, I don't think that fight goes the distance. I don't. But what's up, La Jessica? She says, salute Hood Champion in the chat. Jose Chavez said, Tank needs to retire. Nobody cares about his fight. Baltimore didn't even buy pay-per-view. You know what? I don't blame you for saying that, Jose, because when you got a guy who keeps talking about I'm retired, I'm tired, I'm this, you know, people hear that and they get tired of the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, well, just get out of here. And people are frustrated with Tank. They are frustrated. James Hannon says, you have no clue what you're talking about, Jose Chavez. He's one, if not the biggest pay-per-view stars in boxing, and up there with the most talented. He just has to prove it. Alexander Wilson, Hood, lion don't live in the jungle, tigers do. Well, I don't know, man. First time I ever heard of a lion not living in the jungle. Lion, tiger, doesn't matter. You don't want to mess with either one of them. Cone Sabor, we got fights tonight. I'm being distracted with the Super Bowl. Yeah. But tonight, Derek Chisora, I think he gets tranquilized. Chavez says, Tank is the biggest hype job ever. Nah, man, Tank can fight. I'm going to tell you what happened with Tank. Tank got squared away. Hey, here for boxing, I appreciate the donation, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Gervonta Davis got schooled up by Floyd and Leonard Ellaby. And they taught him. They taught that man, you know what? When you retire from boxing, those belts don't matter. You can't deposit those into your bank account. You can't exchange them for money. So make all the money you possibly can, the least amount of risk, and keep winning. And he stuck to that. And you know what? What Tank is doing right now is what Floyd kind of did at the end of his career and what he does as an exhibitionist and what Canelo is kind of doing right now. It's like I put the work, in Tank's mind, it's almost like he says, I already put the work in. I'm a 130, 135, 140. I'm a 3-division champion, so I can do what I want. But, you know, this is the difference. If you want to move like Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather put the work in. Floyd fought champion after champion after champion, dominated and dominated and dominated. You can't come out here and compare yourself to Floyd Mayweather. I don't care what no one says. That shit Floyd Mayweather was doing from the time he turned pro to probably his last 5 years in boxing. Even those last 5 years, Floyd was out here getting busy. It's just I take offense to any of these guys thinking that I'm just emulating what Floyd did. No, you didn't. You go out there and fight. What Floyd, 20-something champions? You go do what Floyd, you want to do what Floyd did? Just give me 15 champions, right? You go out there. No one out here has done what Floyd's done. I don't care what no one says. They just out here want the money, the undefeated record, but they don't want to put that work in. The blood, the sweat, and the tears, they don't want that. They just want the cha-ching-ching, Wu-Tang cream. That's all they want. You know what I'm saying? Where we at here? Precisely my same thoughts on Bud. I think he knows his weight limit, so he's cashing in versus Nello rather than taking it to the stupid and fights numerous people at 154, 160, 168. I agree with you. Yeah, we on the same page. James Hannon, no, he's not. He sells out arenas, does hundreds of thousands of pay-per-views, and is one of the most talented stars in boxing. No offense, but what the F are you talking about if you're going to make stupid statements? So James going back at what's his name? Have evidence to back it up. Jose, you don't need to scream when you're right. Tio would destroy Tank. Tio would destroy Tank? You know what? It'll be an interesting fight, but I don't know, man. But one thing for sure against Tank, I don't believe anybody wins rounds against Tank. I think Tank gives fighters rounds. That's what I think. And I think if Tank started the first round with the mentality, I'm gonna get you out of there, I think Tank could definitely get fighters out of there. I think Tank gives fighters rounds. So with him and Tio fight, if they were to fight, I think it'd be interesting because although I don't like some of the things about Teofimo Lopez outside of boxing, as a fighter, Teofimo Lopez can scrap. And then I think it'll be more competitive than what people think because Tio's not fighting somebody much bigger than him, more reach than him, someone who's going to box and move around the ring and try to run from him. They're going to be right there. And it's going to be interesting. I still have Tank, but it could get very interesting, especially if Tank decides I'm going to let him, win 3-4 rounds. Shit can get crazy because when he fighting Charles Martin's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's solid, but I was like, whoa, okay, he kind of letting this get away from him a little bit. And then you saw when he was tired of messing around, well, we all saw what happened. Lord Zen says, I would destroy Tank, but he lost to Cambosos. I would destroy Tank, but, oh, yeah, Cambosos and Teofimo. Yeah, he did lose to Cambosos, didn't he? Tank is scared to death of Teofimo. Jose, man, you just don't like Tank, man. That's hilarious. Bandalay, Bud is going to use from now till September to get his weight and muscle up for Canelo. His strength and conditioning team has everything mapped out so far so that there'll be no great disadvantage in size. Yeah, I think they're doing that too. And Bud has smart people around him. He's smart. But I think he's going to put a lot of work in the gym. So we won't see him in an officially sanctioned fight between now and Canelo. But those gym battles, those wars, those sparring sessions in the gym that cameras aren't going to be privy to, he's going to be putting that work in. You better believe that. Terrence Crawford's going to be putting that work in. inside that gym. I just, I don't know. I just have a weird feeling, man, about him not taking an Evander Cien type fight the same way he did for like Earl Spence. But he'll probably be doing that in training camp. But we'll see. We'll see for sure. Kambosos will beat Tank too. Oh, Chavez, man. Jose, JC, you out here bugging, man. Kambosos ain't beating Tank. Lomachenko damn near killed Kambosos. What would Tank do? I think Kambosos, who's returning in a couple months, he's fighting your Dwan, whatever his last name is. That guy ain't fought in a long time. He was a bad boy back in the day. But this is a fight for Kambosos to look good. But I think Kambosos is going to lose because that guy, Yorduan, whatever his last name is, he was powerful with speed and could fight back in the day. But this may be a cherry pick gone wrong. Con Sabor at Jose Chavez, you can express yourself without screaming. Chavez just passionate. That's what we want over here. He's not being disrespectful. He just passionate. Hood, I think Shiraz is going to beat Adams. I think he is too. I think Shiraz is going to knock out Adamus. Adamus has been inactive, hasn't really fought nobody that tough of a fight. I think Shiraz is too long, too powerful, too fast. And if fighting in Saudi, I think Shiraz knocks him out cold. And it's going to be embarrassing. I tell you, something about the water over there in Saudi Arabia. These fighters need to be careful going to Saudi thinking that they're going to be able to dominate. And if you take a look, Shiraz was allowed to get into the country. But Adamus and his team weren't allowed to get into Saudi Arabia. Something about they weren't within their window to travel. They had purchased all their tickets out of their own pockets. It's pretty horrible what happened with Adamus. I don't have the whole story, but I don't understand why his team wasn't allowed to come into the country. And I'll tell you this. When we took my dad back to Trinidad and Tobago, right? One of my brothers didn't have his passport. He was trying to travel on his military ID. Well, you can't go from the United States to another country on your military ID unless you have military orders. My aunt just happened to be the chief personnel officer of Trinidad and Tobago. So she was in the prime minister's cabinet. So she held a very important position. So what happens, we got to the airport, we're in Miami, they wouldn't let him board the plane. I called my uncle, he called my aunt. Within 10 minutes, a fax came to the airport and they let us board. They treated us like royalty. So what I'm saying is, with my aunt in her position, if my aunt wasn't in that position, my brother wouldn't have got in. We got into the country. Turki Alalshikh working for the goddamn king and prince of Saudi Arabia. You telling me they can't let Adamus into the country? So they can get out of here with that bullshit, man. I think they just, again, Shiraz is the golden child, and they want Shiraz to win. And that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I think Shiraz, yep. Bandele says, fight Skull, so September fight is for Undisputed. Yeah, I think that'll be nice too, you know what I'm saying? You have no evidence to back up your points, you just blurt out such nonsense. Old people love to write in capital letters. Oh, y'all going back and forth. Tank needs to fight a real champion. He's fought some champions, but I would like to see Tank fight Shakir, Devin, T.O. I would like to see that. I would like to see those fights, man. Who else is there at 130, 135? Let's just look right now. We keep talking about Tank. Let's just go out and take a look. What does Tank really have to mess around with, right? What does Tank really have to mess around with? Because a lot of those guys bubbled up to 140. Oh, Zepeda. So this is Tank right here. Lomachenko, he would probably beat him right now. Stevenson, I think Tank beats him. Zepeda, I think it's a problem for everybody. His punch output, but I wonder about him and Peds. I'm not so sure about this guy anymore. Davis, he's talking the talk. He's walking the walk, but I don't know if he's going to continue to walk. If he runs up into Davis, Davis may tranquilize him. Baranchek will fight anybody. Crazy Ukrainian. Murataya can scrap. Andy Cruz, he's looking more and more like he won't never get to 20-0. Martin already got tranquilized, and Tevin Farmer is bubbling up. But for Tank, I mean, he's really got Shakir, Lomachenko, and Baranchek. Unless Tank bubbles up here to 140 pounds. Now you're talking about where I think Tank belongs. T.O., you got Devin, Catterall, Puello, Hitchens, Valenzuela. No matter what nobody says, Valenzuela impressed us all. Barbosa, Taylor, Matias. So There's some good fights out there for Tank. I agree, and I would like to see him get it on with some of those guys as well, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Sriracha versus Berlanga. That would be a good fight because Berlanga's out here. I want to see just what Berlanga's learned from that Canelo fight because he lost, but if you watch Berlanga, you swear that it just became undisputed champion at 168 pounds. But let's see what he has because I think Berlanga's the kind of fighter. And I like Berlanga, but I just think he got silk pajamas already. I think he got the silk pajama syndrome already. That's just my 2 cents, man. I don't know if you see that picture of him, man. I don't know what he was doing in the ring. I guess he's working on his defense. He looked crazy and shit. James Hammond says, yeah, I don't disagree. He's taking easy fights. But you're saying he doesn't sell tickets, isn't a pay-per-view star, and Kambosos beat him. You can't be dumb enough to believe that. Yeah, where are we at now, man? Let me come up a little bit and get to these comments. Damn, boy, did I miss all those comments? Let me get to these comments now and shut up. All right, here we go. Baltimore don't got no money. You know, and it don't matter. A lot of people from surrounding areas will come and support the events in Baltimore, like they did for the first one he had he had out in that area. DOG 215, pay-per-view numbers are irrelevant when Turkey has paid for everything and a return is non-existent, as it's advertising for Saudi tourism, a commercial basically. Yeah, they just wanted to be seen as a destination, no doubt. Consabor, Canelo will be used as a WWE, used the Undertaker WrestleMania, feed him boxers. He got a big paying fan base. Canelo in the Canelo to boxing is what Inoue is to Japan. He can fight anybody, and he'll get supported. Inoue in Japan could go and he could go wrestle a goddamn monkey, and Inoue would make $20 million, man. Turkey is losing so much money, it's crazy. I wouldn't say Turkey's losing any money, man. When you understand that the Saudis print their own money, and the man got trillions of dollars at his disposal with the sovereign wealth fund. But so Turkey not worried about that money. This is an investment that they're making to get people to want to come and visit Saudi and see the country as a destination and be part of Riyadh season. They're not worried about getting a return financially or monetarily. They're worried about getting a return as far as tourism and how people see the country. That's it. So they're not worried about money. James says, Jamel's got one of the best jabs in the business. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. 215 says, it's an advertising budget. You spend, not what you lose. Says Jamel, yeah, I knew what you meant. Turkey not losing money. It's absurd to even think that, they're not worried about money out there, man. Turkey is literally losing $400 million on Canelo. I don't think he lost $400 million on Canelo, man. You got to look what Canelo is going to make to fight Jake Paul. You know, Canelo's going to make like over $150 million. So, again, Turkey, Alalshikh ain't worried about it, man. 4 fights, $400 million. That's not bad. You got to look. Tyson Fury in his first fight with Usyk made over $100 million. Usyk in his second fight with Fury made $120 million or something like that. So hundreds of millions don't mean a damn thing to Saudi Arabia at all. Period, man. Canelo for Turkey is like a Hollywood Hogan for WCW. Will bring money and fans to watch the undercards. Yeah, you watch a lot of wrestling, Constable, I could tell. And I agree with you. Turkey is an employee of the Crown of Saudi Arabia. They aren't losing money. Yeah, like he says, I got 2 big mountains in my corner. The king and the prince. Right, guys? He's losing money because he just loves boxing. Y'all got to understand, Turki Alalshikh is sick too. And he's been given a green light, I think, to just do whatever he wants when it comes to boxing. Because one, I don't think he has much time left to live. And 2, this is something, when it comes to sports washing, that can help the country even after he passes away, if their goal is met, which is to get the international community to see them as a place for big events, music, sports, etc., and entertainment, then his job would have been done. It says, Jose, every year government has to spend money. This is no different than a Super Bowl commercial. He's paying to promote his country. Yep. Chavez says, Turkey will probably get in trouble if he's losing millions. Nah, man. That's all planned. Trust me, that's all part of the plan to spend that money. The whole point is to make money. It's why Saudi legalized alcohol to a degree. Well, they're looking to do things outside of just having all of that oil. So, but they don't need it. Turkey needs to invest in the NFL. That's the only money sport. Chavez got a lot of strong opinions here. Cone Sabor, how the Saudis are losing money with Live Golf League, Riyadh season. I ain't even going to talk about the money no more because he ain't losing that. Let's get back to talking about boxing. Let me get back down here. Nobody going to Saudi for boxing. It's tough for people to pick up a ticket and go and just go over to Saudi Arabia, man. That's not easy to do. I thought about going out there, man, but I mean, you pick up and go out there, you get a hotel, and you'll be treated well, but you're not going to get the red carpet treatment like what you're seeing on TV with the fighters. You know what I'm saying? But it would be a very nice experience. They want everyone to be comfortable and to enjoy themselves. You just have to behave. Don't go out there acting stupid, and you'll be fine. I lived in Saudi. A lot of y'all know that. I lived out there. You know, so Saudi is a nice place, but it will be a little uneasy because you know one misstep and things can go bad real quick. Chavez says, ain't no Mexican going to Saudi. That's hilarious, man. 215 said he'll be going out there depending on who's fighting. Ain't no Mexican. Oh, there was a question about if the fight with Canelo, if his fights are going to be on Netflix or with PBC, Amazon. All that's, you can forget about all that. Anything Canelo does going forward is going to be on DAZN because he's signed with Turkey now. And they were talking about Canelo's not loyal. Man, Canelo does what he wants, and he'll tell you that. It's not that he doesn't like Al Heyman, not that he doesn't like Eddie Hearn. He just does what he wants. All right, let me get through this. It says, real talk, nobody pays pay-per-view. They all use the Fire Sticks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know many people who pay for pay-per-view anymore. I don't. Tank was scared to death of a young Lomachenko. All right, let me get back to talking boxing. Okay, I got through all that. All right, here we go. Now, so that's the story with Tank, with Canelo. I think Canelo should fight Jamal in May, then Crawford. But Ryan Garcia is training with Eddie Reynoso. Ryan Garcia is returning to the ring to face Rolly. I think he tranquilizes Rolly Romero. I'll be honest with you, man. I think it's let me see something. I think it's crazy how at 147 pounds, let me see if they have it updated. It's not here. But Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero are fighting for the WBA Super World Welterweight Championship. Now, in case you didn't know, let me pull this up for you. Conor Ben, so Ryan Garcia and Rolly fighting for the WBA strap. Not Conor Ben. Devin Haney, let me see if I can pull this up, is the number one ranked in the WBC at 147. And that blew my mind. I'm like, how the hell did Devin Haney, coming off a loss, let me see if I can pull it up. How did Devin Haney all of a sudden get bubbled up to the number one ranked position in the WBC? So here it is. Male, what is that? Welterweight. I'm pulling it up so I can show you to see. Oh, check this shit out. So that's true. As of 7 February, right, this is the welterweight, 147-pound division. Y'all see that? Look who's ranked number one. Devin Haney is ranked number one for the WBC. Then you got Sissoko, then Conor Ben's ranked number 3. Sasaki and Kavaliauskas. And then you got Curiel and Bingy Ramos Rocha. How the hell Devin Haney become ranked number one by the WBC? That's crazy to me that Devin Haney become ranked number one. Now, when I take a look at right here, this is so Devin Haney, he's supposed to be fighting this guy Ramirez, right? But then he's ranked number one. Yo, they're trying to line Devin Haney up for a WBC strap. In case y'all didn't realize that. That's what they're trying to do, man. That is actually crazy, man. Crazy that they're trying to do that, man. Anyway, Harden said, I think you're spot on about Shiraz becoming a golden boy. When you watch him knock out Williams, I never seen Turki celebrate so much. Yeah, he was, man. What you think of Ernesto Mercado? I think Ernesto Mercado, man, is a great fighter. I think he's a great fighter, man. He just needs to keep putting that work in. The mailman says he can fight Tevin at 140. He can see how he feels at that weight class. You know, Tevin 40, man. I mean, Tevin Farmer, man, can scrap. I'm just not so sure, you know, how many wins he can get. But he handled business with Ramirez pretty good. But I think Tevin Farmer, man, has been able to catch his second win as far as his career, because I didn't expect him to perform the way he did against Ramirez. I'm hearing that the rematches didn't work. Where we at? So no Mexican going to Saudi, but Muslims went to Mexico. You're the only Mexican who probably don't want to go out there to Saudi Arabia. Ryan going to have a good 2025. Yeah, Ryan Garcia, I think is going to have a good 2025. And he's enrolled in Nevada. But he did go out there and he did do some bullshit with Devin. But like 215 says, Ryan will have to carry the event. If it flops, he gets the blame. Dev still make him more than anyone else on the card. Yep. Ryan's going to have to come out here and look great. Ryan's going to have to look like he looked against Devin Haney in the first fight. With whoever he fights. I think he'll knock out Rolly Romero. But if Ryan Garcia comes out here and loses against Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia is going to look crazy. He's going to look crazy. He's going to make Devin Haney look that much better. You know what I'm saying? They're setting up for Haney Garcia too. Yeah, in September, I believe it is. I think they're going to put it on the Canelo Crawford undercard. And I tell you what. Devin Haney and his dad and his team, their boxing minds against Ryan Garcia, Eddie Reynoso, and whoever else. That's a tough fight for Devin, because Ryan looked the best. When he was with Eddie Reynoso, he looked very good. But he learned a lot from Derek James too, man. He looked really good when he was with Derek James. I just think Ryan and Devin, that collision, they're on that collision course. It needs to happen again. I just don't think Haney beats. I don't think Haney beats him. I don't think Haney beats him. Lord Zen says because Haney has photo with Suleiman since he was 10. Okay, well yeah, that is true. But I'm surprised to see him see Devin out there ranked number 1. But I'm rooting for Devin, man, because I don't like the fact that he got cheated. But I got to be real. I just think Ryan, with his speed, power, everything, I think his punches will always get there before Haney can react. And if they fight 10 times, I think Ryan beats him 8 out of 10 times. Says, I need to see Andy Hiroka be put in the mix at 140. I think he's the boogeyman. Yeah, there's not much going on with him. That's the thing. But I would like to see him, pop out and show people what he's all about, because he just needs an opportunity in a big name. James Hannon says, Chavez says, Devin is another one. And Devin ain't a bum, man. Devin can fight. I think what happens with Devin Haney, and this is just being real, right? Him and his dad, and people watch this, right? We're all adults here. We're just having a conversation. People can't take you serious when one day you're talking about religion, you're talking about the kids, you're talking about people, and then the next day you out there fighting at the fair, you're talking about the N-word, MF, B-word, suck my D-word. Like, it make people not like you. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get in the boxing ring and you go through what he went through with Ryan, even though people know, like, okay, Ryan tested positive for the substance, they don't even care. It's like they overlook that. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. But I think his dad has done a good job with his son. No doubt he loves his son. He's helped get his son to this point. But for me, I don't really like all that crazy language. You know what I'm saying? And then to connect that shit, inextricably tie that into religion. With the religion, I don't like that. But I think that's why a lot of people don't like Devin Haney. You know, I think that's why. They all use DG. Yeah, man. But, Derek James had to cut all that off. He had to cut all that off. You look at what was happening out there with in his camp. You know, Earl Spence lost, not Derrick James' fault. Charlo lost, not really Derrick James' fault. Frank Martin lost, not Derrick James' fault. And then Ryan Garcia with the ranting and raving and being a distraction in the camp. Derrick James said, yo, I'm done with all this BS. Because Derrick James, like Terrence Crawford, has a lot of kids that depend on him. And he's a role model to a lot of kids. He can't have that nonsense in his camp, you know what I'm saying? So I can't blame Derrick James for parting ways. Plus, Ryan Garcia was getting threatened. A lot of people don't know about that. Make sure y'all hit the like button too. Ryan Garcia was getting threatened big time out there in Texas. So Ryan Garcia didn't feel safe. So he went back to Cali. It was more than just, there was no issue with Derrick James as a trainer. There was just too much going on, and Ryan didn't feel safe out there in Dallas, Texas no more. That's what really happened. But for y'all who didn't know, now you know. Mailman says, OG, who you think anyway should fight next? And do you think he comes back to the States? Yeah, he'll be back in the States. I know for a fact he'll be back in the States fighting at, I think, the T-Mobile Arena. But when I think about anyway and his next fight, let me tell you, if I could shake up the hood champion crystal ball, right, and we're talking about Inoue, right? If I could shake up the hood champion crystal ball and have Inoue fight somebody next, I wouldn't have him fight at 122 anymore because I don't think anybody at 122 beats him. I would have Inoue bubble up to 126 and fight Nick Ball for that WBA strap. That's the fight I would do. Have him bubble up to 126 and fight Nick Ball. If not Nick Ball, I'd have him bubble up to 126. Bruce Carrington doesn't have a strap, but I'd almost have him go against one of those guys. But you got, you know, Espinoza. He already beat Fulton. I think he got in there with Leo already and gave him the business. But the bottom line is, I would like to see Inoue against Nick Ball. Like that's the fight I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I think that fight would be very entertaining, and somebody would die in that fight because Nick Ball is not going to just come in there and quit. He's going to fight until he has no pulse. And so I think that would be a very, very fun fight. And I think that fight would need to headline no matter what fighters they have on the card, that should be the headliner. Nick Ball against Inoue. Because real boxing fans know everyone's gonna get their money worth if those two guys get in the ring. But I just got Inoue winning. I think the only way Inoue loses is he just moves up to like 147, 154 pounds, something crazy, and guys are just way too big for him. But he's going to fight for sure. What weight is Garcia fighting his comeback fighting at 147? Jose, why you gotta crap on everyone in the sports you love? Jose just out here stirring the pot. I think Devin's best factor is his discipline and not the ring. That's what got him so far. Yeah, he's got discipline, man, no doubt. Nick Ball is tough. He is. All right, I gotta get ready to. I got about what? Let me see. I got about 5 or 10 minutes, and I gotta go and get ready for my son's game. Okay. Oh, Clarissa Shields is the other one I wanted to talk about, and this last crescendo. I'll run through that real quick. But Clarissa Shields, there's no one who can beat Clarissa Shields. Nobody. Her melting down to 147, 154, and trying to figure out a catch weight with Amanda Serrano, would that be entertaining? Yeah, because Serrano's going to fight her. But I just think Clarissa Shields melting down from 170 all the way down to 154, she could do it. But I don't know if Serrano would want to jump all the way up like that. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I think it makes for a very interesting fight. Now, where am I at here? Okay. So, let me go back here. Now. But, yeah, bottom line, nobody beats Clarissa Shields. Deontay Wilder, he and AJ, I think that's the fight they're going to end up making. Wilder returns, and then it seems like AJ and Wilder is something that they're already talking about behind the scenes, which I think is an interesting fight. To me, whoever lands first wins. You know, simple. Keith Thurman's back. Him and Tim Tszyu, I think, is the fight to make. Tim Tszyu's back as well. But I don't know how far Keith Thurman could go, but I think he and Tim Tszyu make for a good fight. I like Keith Thurman. I just think he's been out too long, man. But Keith Thurman better leave Murtazali alone. But when it comes to this fight card right here, let me tell you something. Bertabiev and Bivol, I got Bertabiev knocking him out. Dubois and Parker, I think Dubois beats everybody at heavyweight. I don't know what's going on with that guy. Parker's a great fighter, man. And Parker could win, but I just don't think so. I think Dubois walks right through him. I do. I think Dubois just walks right through him. Shakur Stevenson and Schofield, I think that's going to be a easy fight for Shakur Stevenson, but Floyd Schofield, he's going to be more than prepared because it's a huge opportunity for him. Adames and Shiraz will beat him easily. I think he knocks him out. He drops him in the first round, knocks him out within 5. Carlos Adames is a powerful guy. He's dangerous. In the first 4 rounds, he's a front runner. But I think the reach and the speed and the way Shiraz is able to control the distance, plus he's got Saudi Arabia behind him. I think Adames is gonna take his Dominican ass over there and be turned into frijoles negro. Virgil Ortiz and Madrimov. I like Ortiz. I'm rooting for Ortiz. I just don't think Ortiz is the same, man. Ortiz has been through too much with his health. He lost to Bohachuk, in my opinion. The 2 fights prior to that, they were one round apiece, or 2 total rounds. The stoppages to me weren't really warranted. But the bottom line is, I'm still not sold on Virgil Ortiz being that monster he was at 147. I got Madrimov knocking Ortiz out. But I want Ortiz to win. I want him to win. Because I just feel bad that the man went through all that stuff he went through with his health. Zhilei Zhang and Caballero. I'm rooting for Zhilei Zhang. I like Zhilei Zhang. Caballero, I don't like him. He's a dirty fighter. But he can fight. But Zhang could be in trouble if Caballero can get off on him, upstairs, downstairs to the body, walking him down, grabbing him, tying him up, headbutting him, hitting him behind the head. You watch, Caballero's a dirty fighter. But I'm praying that Zhang puts the Chinese power on his ass and knocks him out. I don't like Caballero. I just don't like him. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way he fights. Nothing. But his style is effective, and it got him to this point. Boatsy and Caleb Smith, I'll be honest with you, I really could care less. You know what I'm saying? I probably won't even watch that fight. But I'll probably pick up and start watching from Zhilei Zhang on. Zhilei Zhang, Caballero, the Ortiz, Madrimov, Adames, Shiraz, Shaquille, Schofield, Dubois, Parker, then, when you got Bertabiev and Bivol, all those fights are crazy. Crazy fights, man. Absolutely crazy. I mean, it just don't get no better than that. That fight card is crazy. I just don't care for no Boatsy and shit. I don't care. He's fighting Picasso in May. Yeah, I saw that. And Picasso's trainer said they're worried about Picasso. They think anyway's going to kill him because of his power. So Picasso's going to lose. But he needs to fight Akhmadaliev if he stays at 122. Yeah, Eddie Hearn is pushing for that big time. He's been mandatory twice. Anyway's team played out the WBA twice not to fight Akhmadaliev. Yeah, that's why Eddie Hearn is so, up in arms and animated, because he wants his guy to get the shot. Clarissa's a girl I won't talk too much smack, but she's the biggest duck of all time. She didn't have the abs at weigh-in. She could lose weight, duck and smoke at 54 and under. Well, she already did the business at those weights, at 154. She's a big girl, man. For her to get down to 147, that's probably not healthy. But she said she could do it. Ortiz and Madrimov is going to be a war. It is going to be a war. I'm rooting for Ortiz. I just think Madrimov knocks him out. But I want Ortiz to win because I just feel his story, man, and that getting sick with that rhabdomyolysis twice and almost dying, that shit, my heart goes out to him, but I still think it's hard for him to make 154. I do. But to fight Bohachuk, now we talk about Deontay Wilder fighting Parker, then fighting Zhang. 2 back-to-back fights, that's suicide. And then Ortiz fighting Bohachuk, then Madrimov. Nobody doing that. Nobody's doing that. So Ortiz deserves a lot of respect. I should do a video just on that. Wilder fought 2 killers and Ortiz fought 2 killers. Who else is doing that shit? I mean, that's crazy. The best card for our generation. It's one of them for sure. I think Golden Boy has the worst roster in terms of talent. Well, Oscar, one thing about Oscar is he's that pipeline for fighters coming out of Mexico, man. And it's working for him. He's found his niche in boxing. And he can just stick with that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's working. And make sure y'all hit the like button and leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. I got a couple more minutes and I got to bounce. Joshua wants Parker to win so they can schedule that fight next. If Dubois wins, I don't see a rematch with AJ still. If Dubois wins, it's either Wilder or Bacoli for Joshua, and Joshua don't want Bacoli. Yeah, AJ will fight Wilder. The zone can't afford for AJ to lose. He has a two fights a year deal with him. They paid him millions of dollars. He has a stake in the company. AJ has to win. And I think Wilder could be a cherry pick gone wrong. Because Wilder's just got to come and step to him. If he steps to him, Wilder wins. But if he tries to do that, Freaky Maliki, Coach Freaky Maliki circling the ring bullshit, Anthony Joshua will tranquilize him. Because as soon as he throws that right hand, because he doesn't throw the clean up left hook no more, AJ has specialized with the catch and shoot. AJ's going to just roll and then boom, come back with the right hand. And Wilder's not going to be prepared for it. Wilder will get knocked out. Smith versus Buatsi is a great fight. No, it is a great fight. I just don't care to see it, man. Like, nothing about those guys interests me. You know what I'm saying? Smith is beyond his prime, and Buatsi, I'm just not interested in watching him fight. Clarissa says she makes 47 or 54, then has since moved up to fight absolutely bums who started boxing at 37 and whatnot. Well, she did do that, but she's, just become, a 3-time undisputed. But 147 is hard. It's one thing to say you can make it, but how would you be in the ring on that night? You know what I'm saying? I could probably cut back down to 160 like when I used to box, but I'm gonna drop 100 pounds. How would I be? How would I feel? You know what I'm saying? James Hanna, why don't you like the fight? I think it's a great fight. I just don't care to watch those guys fight. Like I watch them and I go and do something else. They don't interest me. You know what I'm saying? She said again a week ago that she can make 47 or 54. I think her and Serrano should try to sort out 154 or 150. I think that's the sweet spot. I don't believe she's a big girl, no calves at all. They all have an ass. She had a... That's what you call an ass. Carissa Shields looked like a lobster, boy. All the meat in her tail. And she likes showing that lobster tail off, don't she? Get some goddamn garlic butter and dip that in it, man. But I'm done. Just spoke up. She gonna kill someone fighting bombs. Maybe. Hannah, do you think Benavidez could beat the winner of Bivol Bertabiev? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think Benavidez beats Bivol or Bertabiev. I think Bivol will just outbox the shit out of him and have him looking crazy. And I think Benavidez and Bertabiev will be like a mashup crasher. Two large masses. These are like two large animals, like two rhinos or two elephants just crashing into each other. And whoever can absorb the crash up the most wins. And I think it'll be Bertabiev. I think Bertabiev will knock Benavidez out and just beat him into submission. I think Benavidez's dad would throw the towel in because that's still his son. And when they know Bertabiev is a damn monster. He's like a damn carnivore. It's like he come in there and he smell blood. He want meat. He want to eat you. And I think that's exactly what happened. He'll come in there and just take a pound of flesh out of David Benavidez. But Benavidez will fight back. He will fight back. Have you heard of Brian Gorham? Great lightweight boxer coming out of Texas. Yeah, I've heard of him. I just saw something on him like 2 days ago. I think like 2 days ago on Twitter. So yeah, I know the name. Jordan Hartman, I find the Day of Reckoning matches complete crap. Finally had a chance to have Wilder and AJ finally fight, and you give AJ the softer touch with Wilder. Yeah, we all knew Parker was more difficult. Parker is definitely more difficult, man. No one ever talks about the piss poor matchup for that card. That may be something that I think I talk on it sometimes, man, but yeah. There's, the politics of boxing is what it is. To be fair, when they put Wallen in, they had great performance against Fury. He had just outclassed Garcia, so he seemed to be on a good form at the time. I actually, what's up, Brad? I actually thought Wallen had a good chance against Anthony Joshua. I was like, why would they put him in there with Wallen? But then you find out that AJ and Wallen had sparred numerous rounds together, and Wallen had been out here, and AJ had been beating the shit out of Wallen in sparring. That's why AJ came into the ring with that confidence that he did not have against Dubois. because he was beating the shit out of Wallen in sparring. He went in there with Dubois and looked the way he looked because he knew in sparring Dubois was beating the shit out of AJ. So yeah, that's crazy, man. Hannah says, so you can't really criticize that much. It's on Jordan. Can't believe you know him. You're very well knowledgeable in boxing. Oh no, I appreciate it, man. I don't claim to be hey man, I don't claim to be smarter than anybody else, but I've been watching boxing like you are for a long time. You know, there's a lot of these guys, they don't watch boxing. They never watch boxing like that. That's why they only talk about one or two boxers. We can talk about all them dudes. I start talking about Obakar. People like, who's that? Zaire Rahim. They don't know who the hell them dudes are. You know what I'm saying? They can't talk about it. You know, but it is what it is. Precisely Hood, it was like if they put water against Helena. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it was. Absolutely. All right, man. I hate to be so abrupt, but I got to get off. I got to get ready to go to my son's game. Man, yo, much respect and love to everybody who came out to support me. I don't go live often. I apologize. I'm just so busy with my kids, man. But I've been on here for, an hour and a half. I need to do this more in the morning on Saturdays and do this for like 3-4 hours, man. And we could just do the roll up and just talk about everything. But I will try to go live later. But I don't know. I'll probably be out and about with my kids fishing and shit. But y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans all 7 continents. Before I go, my boy, 215. AJ was supposed to fight Wilder December 23rd. Chose Wilder instead. I think even though Wilder lost to Parker, I think they could have still fought Wilder. I think they should have still fought Wilder. You know what I mean? Wilder didn't get beat down, get hurt. I mean, he lost in a fight because he didn't give himself a chance to win. But I think AJ should have fought him. I think AJ should have fought him. And make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't. There was never a contract, so that wasn't true. Okay, James, enjoy Hood. You too. Jordan, peace, y'all. This community is awesome. Y'all take care. Yeah, everybody take care, man. I gotta roll out of here, man. But I'll be back on later. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the donations. And I just appreciate it, man. Y'all keep cool, keep safe. And I'm in the breeze.